Hey, good afternoon, SBC 205. It's a lovely Friday afternoon. Actually, it's a little overcast outside right now. But anyway, this is not a lecture. This is me giving you quick feedback. You may want to take notes. I have just finished grading the informative speeches. I've worked through that process. I want to, as always, I want to give you some feedback. Overall, really good effort on everybody's part. I don't give grades like this, and I don't have grades like this normally on an informative speech. Again, you know that my grading is as subjective as you can humanly make something like this. And overall, there were 9 A's, 10 B's, 10 C's, and 5 D's, and then some people that are going to want to work to improve those grades. And again, some of those B's and C's, and I broke it down exactly by 10% at 67.5, 60, 52.5. A lot of those grades fell within a half a point of the next higher grade. So the grades for this skewed really well. Now, if you come back and you say to me, hey, I got a 60 or I got a 67, can you give me the half point for a day? That makes no difference until, I just take point totals at the end of the semester. So, you got a grade you didn't want, and you were 1 point short of the grade you wanted. Fine, work harder next time. Okay, what I'm going to be doing all afternoon is I think I found a way to load your rubrics into a PDF, and then attach them to your grade on Blackboard. Like I said, I think I'm going to be trying that this afternoon. That's going to take me 3-4 hours. I wanted to get this out to you before the weekend started. So let me tell you what you're going to see. You should be familiar with this. This is the rubric from, wow, that makes my face go really dark. Okay. This is the rubric you should have seen before. Your outline grade will be up here at the top, and then I will write down the grades for all the individual areas over here on the side. Do not, when you're finished, add the outline grade to the grades over here. Your final grade for the speech is going to be located up here in the corner. I have had people that think, wow, I got a 95 out of a 75 and a 20 on my outline. No, make sure you understand there's a grade for your outline, which is 20 points, and then a grade for your speech, which will be out of 75. Okay, let me go over some things that I see, and the things I'm going to be pointing out are things that I saw on more than one occasion. If it doesn't apply to you, don't worry about it. Just let it roll off your back like water off a duck, okay? If it does apply to you, though, you need to make sure you focus on it for next time. All right, the outlines. Like I told you guys last week, the outlines were overall really good. Very few people got below like a 15. The two things that I saw repetitively that I don't get, well, I don't understand why it happened, but I'm going to tell you to make sure you get it right next time. There are 4 parts to the introduction: the attention device, the statement of purpose, the qualification. And I'm looking at my fingers doing this on the camera, and it's really screwing me up. The attention device, the statement of purpose, the speaker's qualification, and the preview of your main points. Okay, those 4 points should be on your outline, and here's why. And I say this over and over again. If it's not on your outline, you're going to forget it when you get to your speech. Okay, biggest one was credentials. Second biggest one was probably statement of purpose. Okay, and there's almost a 1-for-1 correlation with the people who have got a note in the outline saying statement of purpose, introduction, 2 points off, and the people who down in the introduction part of the speech went question mark next to their credentials. Okay, so 4 points in the introduction. Number 2, 3 parts in the conclusion. Why you're not putting your restatement of purpose in your conclusion, I don't know. And if there was one thing that really popped up over and over again in all the speeches, is you didn't restate your purpose in your conclusion. You went straight into the review of the main points. Okay? Remember, 4 parts in the introduction, 3 parts in the conclusion. I didn't really hang anybody up on format. There was maybe 1 or 2 that had issues with the format. Okay? I was as forgiving as possible with the copy and paste function into, I know Blackboard sucks, and I know the Control V or the Command V, depending on what kind of system you're using, does not necessarily bring stuff over well. But overall, outlines were good. I'd love to see you get 20 out of 20 for everybody. Okay, so let's go through the parts of the speech and come down through the rubric and things I saw over and over again that need to be addressed. Okay, first of all, number one, the big thing about the introduction is that attention device. I didn't have many people start with, hey, my name is, okay? I did have a couple of people do that. Please be aware of that. I didn't have, I had some people start with hello, but you know, it didn't happen a lot. Um, I had more than people than I wanted to start with a question when I've explicitly told you not to do that. Okay. The main thing that happened with the attention device is I had people that just didn't give us any vocal emphasis. Okay. I mean, it was just today, 3,000 people are going to be killed by. And it's like, somebody running up to you when you're on a boat that stopped in the middle of the ocean and they go, quick, go to the lifeboats. We're sinking. Okay. Your attention device has got to have vocal emphasis. Okay. You need to say it in a way that's going to attract attention. I know some of you guys are not comfortable with doing things that attract attention to yourself. I get that. Public speech, you're not talking. So you got to get rid of that and be ready to go. For the next speech, for your problem solution speech, you will be graded on the effectiveness of your attention device, not just having one. Okay? Everybody understand that? So you're going to have to deliver it with vocal emphasis and have a good attention device. That is not a question. Second of all, in the attention introduction, the statement of purpose and the preview and the main points for almost everybody was pretty good. I didn't have it consistently where I was running into problems. Where I did have a problem, besides the attention device, was your qualifications. Too many of you are saying, I feel I'm qualified. Don't ever say that in a speech, because what that does is that gives your audience a chance to go, well, you feel you're qualified. I don't. Okay. Just say, I am qualified. Okay. Next speech, you say, I feel I'm qualified. You're going to lose some points there. Okay. All right. Let's go to the body of the speeches. Most of you had effective organization of your main points. Didn't have any problems there. Let's talk about transitions. You need to be really explicit with your transitions. Too many of you were not. Too many of you just sort of went, and I had to go back and look at your outlines to see where you were in your speech. So you need to be really explicit with your transitions. What you don't need to do is just read the next bullet point off your note cards. Too many people, and this has cropped up last semester. I never had this problem before, and a couple of you guys did it this time. Don't read your next bullet. Like, remember my speech on fish populations in Clark Cove Reservoir. And my three main points were going to be fish population survey of 1988, fish population survey of 2017, causes for the changes. My transition should be, the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is the 1988 fish population survey. Do that. Get pause at the end of that main point. My second main point is going to be the fish population survey of 2017. Go through all of that. Pause. My final main point is going to be what's caused the drop in population over the last 30 years. Okay? Some of you are going, you get through, and the last thing you go, I'm going to have three main points. Fish population survey of 1988, fish population survey of 2017, causes of the drop in population. Fish population survey of 1988. That's not a transition, okay? Then you go through all of that, you pause, and you go, fish population survey of 2017. Okay, you're just reading your bullet. Don't do that. Get a pen with a different color, and on your note cards, if you go back and look at your tape from this speech, and if you see yourself doing that, get a red pen or a purple pen or a green pen, and next to your main point that says fish population survey, you put first. You go down to the second, finally, okay? Make sure you have those transitions without reading off the next bullet point. Okay? Last thing on transitions. Be consistent. my first main point, my second main point, my third main point. For my next main point, I will be discussing. For my next main point, I will be discussing. For my next main point, I will be discussing. Okay? Be consistent. All right? The earliest events that happen, okay, skip that, never mind. But first, second, third, next, okay? But make it to where it's not that repetitive. A couple of you guys said first, next, final. Okay? And it really was hard to track all the way through, so be consistent with your transitions. Okay, a couple of you guys, development your main subpoints. This is the one that's really hardest to define easily. I'm just going to ask you to go back and look at your speech. I could write paragraphs or chapters on each of your rubrics for those of you who got focus development and subpoints. Every word, remember what I said very first day of class was every word you use should be focused and done to a specific point. A lot of you guys, when you get into those subpoints, just kind of start roaming around and you don't really have focus. I really need you to go back and watch your speeches and really concentrate on, try to watch it very objectively as someone who doesn't know what you're talking about and see how you engage with that subpoint development. Okay, conclusions, overall pretty good. Almost everybody had a good closing statement. Everybody had a good review of their main points. A lot of you guys did not have a restatement of your purpose. That just went by the wayside, okay? You got to fix that, all right? Because that cost you 3 points. You know, you lose that percentage on each of the speeches. That's going to be a problem overall, okay? So fix that. 3 things in your conclusion. Restate your purpose, review your main points, and then have a closing statement. And again, I don't care how, I don't expect that closing statement to be eloquent, but I want to see it there, okay? And again, a couple of you combine your restatement of purpose. Today I've talked about the fish population in Clark Hill Reservoir by giving you 3 main points. That's combining them. You have to make them 2 completely separate sentences. Okay, evidence. A lot of you lost 10 points. You just didn't give me any evidence in the speech. Period. You just didn't cite any. I don't know why that is. It was explicitly stated. You had a copy of the rubric. You should have known there was 10 points in that. We're going to do something to help you fix that. I will tell you about it in a second. But if you don't have 10, if you gave me 2, you lost 3 points. If you gave me 1, you lost 6 points. That's just the way it is. Okay? If you didn't give me any, you lost the whole 10 points. That's just pretty cut and dry. All right? All right, okay. Nonverbals. All right. I've done this before. I've had this job before. Some of you were clearly reading manuscripts off camera. If you don't think I know when you're doing it, you're going to be disappointed. Okay? A couple of you, I'm not going to give a specific number, but a couple of you had blank note cards. I can see that. Okay? And you kept looking at your blank note cards, but then when you put your hand down, you showed the note card to the side, and there was nothing written on it, and your eye line was constantly high into the right of the camera. Okay? Do not read off a manuscript, all right? Do not write your entire speech on your note cards. I can see that too. I can't ask for your note cards like I would in a regular class when we were all sitting in a room together, but I see these things, and it costs you points, okay? So we're delivering speeches extemporaneously. If you don't know what extemporaneous means, go back and read that section of your book and go back and rewatch that lecture, okay? Was it a huge problem? I'm talking about a small group. The wonderful thing about you guys is I'm only talking to 4 or 5 people when I'm usually talking to half the classes. Okay? So you guys did really well with that. Okay? A lot of you guys will see the phrase be conversational. I can't imagine you talk to your friends by going like, hi, we will be speaking over the next 10 minutes about what we are going to do for lunch. Please elucidate your ideas about what we should have for a midday meal. That's not how people talk. So I want you to go back. If you've got be more conversational or be conversational, I want you to go back and watch your speech and see how it goes. And ask yourself, is that the way I talk normally? And if I said be conversational and you've gone back and looked and you say, that's the way I really talk, shoot me an email and we will begin to have a conversation concerning how you can improve that. I think for the most part, people turn the camera on, and then some sort of curtain comes down, and Westworld takes over, and you become automatons, and your speech becomes very stilted. Okay, yeah. But I would encourage anybody who lost points, and again, a lot of you got relax your elbows, gesture to the outside, release the card, separate your hands. If you got any comments on your nonverbals that you don't understand, go back and rewatch your speech. Okay? Time. All but 4 of you did good on time. There were 4 of you that I cut a break. A couple of you had 4:02, 4:03, 4:04 on the YouTube time. And if you got 4:04 on YouTube as the time length of the video, and it takes you 5 seconds to set up and start with your speech, you went short. A couple of people went 3:57, 3:58. I gave them a break. One of you went like 6:10. And I went back and looked and checked and timed out everything. And you only spend 7 seconds getting set up. So technically your speech was 6 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay? I gave you guys a break this time. I am not going to do that next time. You need to go on the length of your speech, not just how long the YouTube video runs. Okay? All right. What we're going to change for next time. All right. Next time, I've said this before. Some of you did it. Some of you didn't. I didn't take off for the people who didn't. So next time, your outline will have your evidence indicated in red, or you will lose 5 points. Okay? I've got to get you guys citing evidence in your speech, because that's going to be more. It's going to be a bigger and bigger piece of the pie every single time we do another speech. It's going to be more and more points. So, and I will put this out in the announcement that comes with this link. If you do not indicate the evidence for your speech in red in the outline that is posted on Blackboard, you will lose 5 points on your outline. Okay? Plain and simple. Okay, I've already talked to you about the other big change is going to be your attention device is going to be graded on its effectiveness, not just on whether or not you have one like I did this time. If you have a question, you will not get any points. Okay? Oh yeah, one last thing. If you close with thank you, okay, let me jump back to conclusions. We never, ever, ever, ever end a speech with thank you. Okay? Thank you is interpreted by the audience as you have been a burden on my time and you owe me now. So you say thank you. Okay? It's just like at the beginning when you get up and you look out at the audience and go, oh, hello, my name is, and I'm here, okay? Thank you is a way to give you a release of the tension for you to get off the stage, okay? And we're not going to do that. You want to know what you do at the end of a speech? You pause, you stop for a 3 count, then you walk off. From now on, the last thing you say will be taken as your closing statement. And if your closing statement, even if you have a closing statement and you say thank you, okay, you will not get credit for having a closing statement. Because your last thing that you communicated to the audience was, I've been a burden on your time. What you should be thinking when you get to that point is they owe you for being such a great speaker. Okay? Didn't happen a lot. Apparently most everybody listened to me, but it happened enough to where I'm going to have to draw a line under it. Okay, all right. That's 19 minutes we're at, so that's about good. That's what I usually spend reviewing a speech. Monday, I will be posting a speech on a lecture on the problem solution speech. You'll have an outline due that next a week later, so that'll give you plenty of time to work on that problem solution speech. Problem solution speech really easy, and yet very complex. All right, that's it. This is a Friday afternoon, so everybody have a good weekend. Please stay safe. If you can, as you know, South Carolina is blowing up. Stay home if it's possible. Be careful at work if you're having to go to work. We appreciate your efforts. All those essential workers out there at the hospitals and grocery stores and the restaurants. Please be safe, and we will see you soon.